Okay.
There we go. Hi, everyone. So, hi, Nando. It's Chris. So, thanks for joining us. This is our entrepreneurial interview series with Steven Vargas today. And we're going to start talking by asking Steven to introduce himself and to tell us a little bit about himself.
Certainly. Well, I'm Steven Vargas. I'm located out here in Chicago. We were talking about filmmakers, and we even had a hangout earlier with Mike Elgin with filmmakers here on G+. And I guess the way I'm integrated in that is I had a user-generated YouTube movie that I made last year based on the Chicago blizzard, or the blizzard that went through Chicago, I should say. And I'll leave it at that, and then we can continue.
Okay, so how did you even start? How did you get started in film? You know, how did you grow up? What led you to where you are today? This
is an hour show, you said?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know if we have time. Let me see if I can condense it. I guess it would start off with the influence of my brother in the acting realm, in theater. And yeah, that had to be the starting point. He played Henry Higgins in an adaptation of My Fair Lady as a senior in high school, and I am 6 years younger than he is. And I got to go around and hang out at the rehearsals and see the actors backstage and watch shows and whatnot. And that was the main impetus for me to get to this type of interest. From there, you know, I went into drama myself, and then I've done the acting thing and on theater as well. And when I got out of high school, I did a little bit of community college, and I entered into film school and learned about film. And yeah, you know, from there it led to last year, over the few years, learning about the internet and how it works, and deciding that YouTube might be a cool way to do stuff. And I saw how you can use user-generated content. Life in a Day was a movie that was produced in conjunction with Google and YouTube, and they use a really cool user-generated concept, and I decided to swipe it for myself and make it my own, and did my own little thing. And yeah, and then from there, then Google Plus came about 6-7 months ago, and here we are on a hangout with you, talking about all this.
So you're actually doing something that no one else, I think, is doing with Google Plus and the Hangouts. You're taking it mobile, and you're doing mobile Hangouts with crowdsourcing and film. So tell me about that a little bit.
Sure. It's still in its infancy, but definitely, like anyone else here, you start learning about the technology that's available to you and figuring out creative ways to use it. You know, some people want to use it more for business opportunities. Some people do it for purely a creative spirit. Some people meld the two together. What I specifically wanted to do with mobile Hangouts is to be able to put a spotlight. There's just so much talent in this area in Chicago. So many people that I know that are way more talented than I am. So many skills and so many different levels, but they don't really get noticed, not even on a local level. And I started feeling a calling to become that person, to be able to spotlight those people. You know, so as I've learned everything in Google Plus and what is possible, it became very attractive to me to be able to say, okay, well, maybe if I am able to show this theater group that I really love and want to support, I can go out here and I can find a way to go mobile and put them into a spotlight where people can see it all throughout the world on Google+. And while that may be for you and me and some people here, you know, an everyday occurrence because we've been doing it for so long, if you really think about it, that's really amazing. That's something that wasn't possible, you know, months ago. To think that, you know, just like that in the click of a button, I can take a camera, go out, shoot something that's going on, and share that with whoever wants to watch throughout the world. You know, eventually, we'll get on-air capabilities like you have, Yifat, and it would be much easier to broadcast and have anyone watch. But for now, it's nice to just be able to do that on a level of having 10 people in a Hangout and seeing what possibilities are there, how you could use the 10 spots that you have within a Hangout creatively and create some type of film narrative. I don't know. As you see, I'm rambling on. There's just so many different possibilities. It's mainly knowing the technology in the space and being able to do something with it, and then to actually go out and do it.
So what is the people reaction when you actually go out to the street and bring a Hangout to them on a mobile device and say, hey, I want to interview you, I want to just talk to you, I want to feature you to these 9 people that are on virtual attendance with me? How do people react to that?
Well, it's fun. Like I said, it's still in its infancy, so I'm setting up all the interviews and all the people that I want to do this for. We did have a mobile Hangout for Moving Theater in Chekhov Studio, Chicago. That's Don Arnold, and I was able to bring most of the theater members onto Google+, because I've opened up their eyes and convinced them that this is a place where they could have a new medium where they could show their artistic creativity. And they've been coming on, and they've been getting excited about it. So they had a workshop a couple of weeks ago where I took my tablet and I went, and they did. They weren't there. It's still a little like I do wedding videos as well, and when you're doing that, you also get that kind of like, oh, he has a camera. I don't know if I want to be in front of him. So there's a little bit of that until people get warmed up for it. And there's a little bit of, okay, are we allowed to do this, and copyright issues and whatnot. So what we did was, within the 8-hour workshop that they had on a particular Saturday, during the break, I went in and allowed them to talk and to tell them what they're all about and where we're from, and sort of a break the ice kind of thing for future maybe performances to be able to be shown this way. So yeah, it's so new, and I'm thinking, yeah, in the beginning, if you're walking up to somebody that you don't know with a camera and telling them it's going to go up on, broadcast worldwide or whatnot, there might be a little, or there might be some people that are the big hams and just want to have the attention. And either way, it's really a nice way to, in real time, be able to show what's going on. And like I said, put a spotlight on whatever it is you want to put a spotlight on, whether it be a theater or maybe a band playing in a dive bar, or one of the museums in town, or I actually went on there's a Ferris wheel at Navy Pier, and I actually did a Hangout from the Ferris wheel because I don't know where it is. I have a little MiFi, so I have a MiFi Verizon broadband connection. I put it in my pocket, and I connect to it on the tablet, and I went on, and I did a little Hangout. So I was at the top of the Ferris wheel. I don't know if you've ever been in Chicago. It was way, way up high. And I was able to get, give a view to everybody, but what it looks like, a couple 100 feet in the air off of the pier when you have the entire skyline of Chicago. So
that would have been my next question. How do you get connectivity all over town?
That's what you have to do. I got a MiFi. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's right here. So you get one of these devices here, and it's a Verizon 4G LTE connection, and it's been working pretty decent. And yeah, I'll just stick it in my pocket or in my back pocket, and I'll connect to it on the device. And yeah, so far so good. I haven't had any issues yet.
That's cool, because actually that shows that you can really, like you said, as soon as you understand the technology, it's basically open up for your creativity, right? Whatever you want to do with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
So you were talking today on Mike's show, talking about how you were doing crowdsourcing movies, where you were filming. You were filming different people with like a small camera, handheld camera, and then you combined it to a movie?
Well, it's a little different. What I did was I had people who shot their own videos, and then I had them submit them to my YouTube channel. And then to create the movie, I didn't just have the movies and stitch them together and put it out there. I had to have some type of cohesiveness to it. So I also shot myself. So I used a little $100 camera and looking like a crazy person, walking down the street and talking and walking to the camera and shooting that and editing that together with all the other pieces that were in it. So yeah, with the crowdsourcing, it's fun. It's basically user-generated content. So you have people who like your concept or are pre-qualifying themselves by saying, yeah, I like what you're doing. This is pretty neat. You know, I want to be a part of it, and they take time out of their lives to be able to shoot the video, to be able to upload the video, and to send it to you. And we put a little twist on it outside of the Life in the Day, excuse me, a Life in the Day movie, where they had 80,000 submissions, I believe it was, and they had to have an editor actually go through all of that stuff and pick 26 of the best ones to make their feature-length documentary. Here, it was a little interesting and a little easier because we were able to allow people to vote on what they wanted to make it into the final cut as well. So, you know, out of the 80-plus responses we got, people thumbed up or thumbed down which ones they liked, and from there, you know, I just picked the 5 most popular ones. I said, okay, these are the ones that make the final cut. And, you know, so you have user-generated content and also being able to be in the collaborative process of decision of the filmmaking process. And that was kind of neat. That was fun. That was a good experience, and I'm looking for another way to do something similar to that. But there's no snow here, so I couldn't do a sequel.
That is pretty cool. So, Steven, what's a typical day in the life of Steven Vargas?
Wow. Well, I've been spending a lot of time, like most people, here on Google+. I do that. I also have a part-time job. I work at the Trump Hotel in Chicago downtown, and
the videos you can get from there, I'm sure.
Oh wow, yeah. I might get in trouble if I try to do it on my own, but yeah, that was actually where the Transformers 3 video or movie took place.
Right.
And I work in the restaurant, which is on the 16th floor, and that's where they shot a lot of the scenes from there. So we had to take 3 days off where we couldn't work because the entire movie crew came in. They stripped everything. You know, we had to take out, you know, all the furniture and tables and all that stuff, so the camera crew can come in there and do their job. And it was pretty interesting. It was pretty fun. And the other part of that was there's a little terrace outside called Terrace of the Trump on the 16th floor. And from there, I mean, they used the entire city as their backdrop for filming. So from there, it was really neat. When they were filming, you could look down on Wacker Drive. You could see all those cars with machine guns on them shooting. When they're doing the scenes, you could see all the crowds of people standing around watching. There was even a part of the movie where there were people skydiving from helicopters. So I'm standing out on the terrace, and you see these people skydiving like right in front of you coming down. And you're like, oh my God, that's the coolest thing in the world. Wow. There's a lot of fun stuff. Yeah.
That is amazing. You are living in one of the best cities for movies, no, in this country.
They're up and coming. They're doing a lot of. I mean, we're kind of disappointed that the new Dark Knight Rises didn't stay here. I think they went to Pittsburgh, but that's okay. You know, we did have the first Batman movie actually also at the Trump Hotel. The part where the Joker was swinging is the very top of the Trump Tower. You know, there's a lot of cool little sequences and bits of movies that are, you know.
They're being filmed. So I remember the first time you and I talked, I think it was like almost the middle of the night or really early in the morning, and your schedule is completely reversed, isn't it?
It goes up and down. Sometimes I'm up for days in a row. Sometimes, you know, yeah, absolutely. Sometimes I'm up from 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 10 o'clock the next day, and then sometimes you have to recalibrate, and you end up, you know, waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning and going to sleep at a normal time. But yeah, I think a lot of people here have some very weird sleep cycles, if I'm not mistaken. It's not an easy thing to keep up with everything that's going on here, but we all try.
So is that because of what you're doing in film, or is that because of your work, or?
Well, for a while that was because of Hangouts. There's a highly social activity in Hangouts in the middle of the night. You saw Matthew Rappaport in Mike Elgin's Hangout earlier today, and there was a while where I would see him all the time, and we would hang out, and certain people you end up hanging out all night. So you're there at midnight and 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Before you know it, it's 5 o'clock, and then then you're going to sleep when the sun goes up, or you can't go to sleep when the sun's always up, and you stay up. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is the Hangouts. It's addictive. It's fun. It's great for shows like this.
So Google Plus took over your life, basically.
Yeah, you could say that. I'm enjoying it, though. I can't say I'm complaining. I really like it. Lots of opportunities.
You're combining entrepreneurship and part-time job right now until, I'm assuming, your film hobby takes off?
Absolutely. And as we're talking about mobile stuff, that is also what I'm getting into. You know what? I'm going to do something a little fun here. I'm going to share something with you that I did. And this is not scripted, if anyone's thinking. She doesn't know what she's seeing here, but I made a mobile site out of your website.
Oh, wow.
That is G+decoded.com, as I created. I am a mobile website designer. And this is G+decoded. You can see we have Brock's picture over here, and that's the home page and whatnot. And there's your Google Plus attack plan. And just to show you what it looked like, this is what it looks like right now on a mobile device. So that is part of what I do when you talk about entrepreneurship. That's part of where I'm going, and it's fun to find these things where, let's see if I can get out of screen share. It's fun to find these things where you're in a position where you're able to help people in certain ways, whether it be businesses or artists. I'm finding ways where I could be of value to people where it's like, oh, okay, this is really neat. I can go out and I can help artists get a little more exposure and maybe a little more fundraising. Oh, I can go out and I can help businesses, also with exposure and also with, I guess, not fundraising, but their products and their services that they're offering to people. And it's a great platform. I mean, not to get too Google Plus-y here. I just love this, where we're at now and what's possible. And the ability.
That's awesome. So you're kind of like, this is great. You're really a startup entrepreneur, starting up with everything. You're inventing a platform of your own. So what would you advise to anyone who's considering entrepreneurship?
Oh, God. Let me see if I have... I ran out of all the bottles, but buy a lot of 5-hour energy drinks because they help a ton. Seriously.
You learn to live on 2 hours of sleep at night.
Pretty much, yeah. No, it's for anyone who is extremely passionate and doesn't mind failure after failure after failure, because that's pretty much the path that you go by. So if you're stubborn and you have a big heart and you're willing to push back or push past any sticking points that you need to get through, then it's for you. And it isn't for everybody, I don't think. Some people are very happy with having a job and having that type of security, and they don't really want this type of life because it's not really an easy life, but it's like anything else. It's like if you are an artist, you're an artist, and that's what you are, and you have to keep pushing because you have no other choice. And I don't see many differences between that and being an entrepreneur. You have to think on your feet, and you have to think creatively, and you can't give up because you don't have a choice to give up. It's what you do, and that's it.
I love that. So tell me about your most influential time, moment, or person in your life that led you to where you are today. Aside from your brother.
Oh, man.
No, you can tell me about your brother.
I was going to say my brother. That's a great question. Most influential person. Okay. See, now you're making me think on my feet.
Person, moment, or time. Pick one.
Person, moment, or time?
Yes.
Okay, so I came from Miami. I'm not originally from Chicago. I was actually born in New York and moved to Florida when I was 2, and I was in Miami when I was 5, up until about 10 years ago. And this was right after 9/11, and like a lot of people, you start maybe taking stock in your life or what's important, or thinking, what am I doing? What I want to do now? You know, am I wasting my life, or you know, or what am I doing at this job, or where am I going, or what do I really want? You know, what is life? And that's when I decided that I wanted to move on and I wanted to go somewhere else. And that started me on my journey that I'm on right now. And I started searching for places. You know, I was into theater. I was getting a few acting gigs at the time, and I wanted to find a place where I can continue that passion. And so, you know, obviously you look at New York and you look at LA, and I didn't know about Chicago. You know, I learned about Chicago, and I saw that they had a great community out here. It was very community oriented and very supportive. And there were something like 200 non-equity theaters out here, which right now there's a lot less since the economy has been doing so well. But at the time, it was very robust. And I said, go for it. You know, I didn't hesitate. I just went out and I sold my car, and I up and left. And I didn't have any friends here. I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything. And it's been quite a struggle since I've been here, but you know, you can't change that for the world. You know, all the struggle and all the pain that you've gone through is leading to something. So that was definitely the most influential time of my life, was deciding, okay, I've had enough of what I've been doing. I'm going to kick this off, and I'm going to start. I have no idea where it's going to lead, or where I'm going, or what I'm headed to, but you know, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do it now, and that was the point, and that was somewhere about 10 years ago.
That's very impressive, actually. You know, a lot of people are stuck in a situation that they don't like, and they don't have the courage to change anything about it. And so, actually, you know, going to a new place, not knowing anyone, starting from scratch, really.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, change is painful, and that's why a lot of people don't want to change. It's much easier to stay where you're at and to be stable in whatever environment you're in, and that goes back to entrepreneurship. If you're not comfortable with the pain of changing on a daily or by-the-minute pace, then it's not for you. But, yeah, it's not easy to do it. It is quite difficult, but yeah, you get around certain people that are able to support you and help you out, and it makes it a little bit easier.
So would you say that was actually the crucial moment that led you to where you are today, professionally and personally?
Yeah, I mean, now that you brought it out of me, I would say yes. I mean, I haven't really thought about it deeply, but yeah, that was a big thing. It was leading up to that, and it just came to that point where it was like, all right, I felt the pull. You know, I felt the calling, I guess you can call it. And I said, I have to do something now, because I can't keep on going the way I'm going. I have to. There's something out there for me that I have to find. Don't know what it is, but it's not here.
That's cool. So that was the positive side of it. What's the biggest mistake that you've done that led you to where you are today? Or what you learned from your biggest mistake?
Probably the same thing. No. Biggest mistake. Let me see. I mean, that's a very good question. And again, you're putting me on the spot. Let me see if I can come up with an answer for that. The biggest mistake that I've made. It's tough. I mean, I want to say that I haven't been able to get out of having a job yet, and that has to do with a little bit of fear of not being able to, you know, survive. And I don't know. I guess, I mean, that's the one thing I think that limits everybody is the fear of something, and trying to drop any type of fears that you have are only going to push you to the successes that you're going to see, and that's one of the things. So right now I'm at the point where I'm not yet comfortable with giving up, working a few shifts at a hotel in order to stay alive while I'm doing everything else. But there's still that little bit of fear. There's still that little bit. God, I want to do it, but I can't do it quite yet. And that's not quite answering your question specifically.
It's not really a mistake, though. It's
right. I'm trying to think of a mistake that I've made that.
Maybe you've never made mistakes?
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm sure I've made plenty of mistakes. You're just asking me my biggest mistake. They're all big. I can't think of the biggest one. Maybe we can come back to that. I'll think about that. Okay.
What's the worst advice you've ever got that might lead you to the biggest mistake?
Unfortunately, I'd have to say, being told to get a job, really. I've had people who have been talked out of following their passions and going more towards, you need to get a job and you need to, do this and you need to do that. And maybe they kind of regret it on a level, Or my feeling is, somewhere that deep down inside, like, I really wish I did what I wanted to do instead of, listen to everybody else. And there's a certain crucial period in your life, maybe say during your college years or so, where you have to make that decision. And that's the toughest advice, because what I've learned in my life is that, and this is just for me specifically, you know everything that you need to know. I mean, everyone has God-given intuition to know what it is that they need to know. The only time that I've ever really gotten in trouble or made bad decisions in life was when I've listened to somebody else. And that's and not that you can't listen to somebody else for advice, but when you start listening to other people and just doing what they say, that usually never leads to good results. You always have the answer inside of you if you could reach inside and try to find that. That is the and I forgot what your question is now. Oh, what's the worst advice? Yeah, I guess the worst advice is just taking anything that people say and just doing what they say would be the worst advice, because you really do know what you need to know already.
It sounds like Steven, you're really on a path. You started on a path that allows you to discover your passion and discover who you are and trusting yourself and actually allowing yourself to live your passion, basically. So,
absolutely, yes. There's no other way for me to live. I'm sure there's easier ways for me to live, but this is what I chose.
But this is the most fun. What's your favorite quote?
My favorite what?
Quote.
My favorite quote? Great question. What is the one by, I think it was Nelson Mandela? Let's see if I can remember this quickly. What is the use of dreaming small or making yourself small and dreaming big? You know the one I'm talking about, and I'm totally killing it on the rephrasing here, but
the one that you shouldn't, that making yourself small doesn't serve the world.
Yes, and it was basically pointing out to why dream small, dream big, because it's inside of you to reach whatever dream that you do have. So what's the point of dreaming small? Always dream big.
I totally agree. Favorite marketing book or business book? Something that you learned from?
Favorite marketing book or business book? Let me see. All right, as far as books go, I enjoy the Robert Cialdini, The Psychology of Influence, I believe it's called. And that's Robert, Cialdini. Fascinating book. So it's great. It's basically marketing and sociology put together, and he has all of these case studies that proves certain points that he makes about marketing and how it works and how people psychologically are influenced in certain ways. And that was always an eye-opener for me. So I have it on my phone, actually, on my Kindle reader. So I reread it a couple times. It's always a lot of fun.
We were saying that it's very difficult. You know, when you come to people's houses and you see their books, it's kind of like very proud of what they read, and you know, all of ours are in a little device. I swear I have a great library here.
This is true. And then these are books, but then you also have, you have people that you meet too. Like I've met Chris Lang for a while, and he's, in person has taught me a few things. And there's certain things you can learn outside of books. If you read the right people, they'll be able to teach you a thing or two as well.
So as your mobile expert, crowdsourcing filmmaker, what is like a great tip that you can, your biggest whiz-bees tip that you can leave us?
Greatest tip about mobile crowdsourcing, what's it?
Video.
Let me see. As far as marketing goes, or as far as filmmaking goes? As far as marketing goes?
Yeah, give me both.
Both, okay. Let's see. Well, as far as marketing goes, for business, the whole point of going mobile is to be able to have whoever it is that's finding your business while they're on the go to be able to reach you quickly. So to have a quick and easy call to action, usually a thumb-friendly button that you can click that takes you straight to the phone number of the store so you could talk to somebody, or to have a thumb-friendly button on your homepage that gives you the directions to that store, because you are thinking of the mobile user on the go and their particular needs, which is different than someone on a desktop who might be doing more research or spending 30 minutes researching something. You have somebody in your area, hyper-local, that is able to, you're able to convert if you have a mobile site that is ready for them to convert, rather than a squishy little desktop site that they have to pinch and zoom. As far as mobile filmmaking, there's nothing other to say than to go out and to do it. Actually, there's a Stephanie Wanamaker, and she is on Google+, and I believe she was talking about some type of cell phone film contest. So you can go out on your cell phone and you could shoot whatever film you have, and you could upload it to her contest she has going on. There's just so many different ways to do it and different platforms to have it distributed to. There's nothing set to really learn. It's just, all right, what is it that you can do? How can you do it? And how can you creatively express yourself within the platform and those means? It's the best advice I can give to someone that wanted to do something mobile within the filmmaking process.
Here's a question from James. What are some of the unique challenges that artists have as entrepreneurs?
Unique challenges artists have as entrepreneurs. Let me see. And someone was discussing this earlier too. And you said challenges. Unique challenges that artists have as entrepreneurs. I guess the challenge would be, as an artist entering into entrepreneurship, is to get into the business mindset, which is sometimes a little repelling to an artistic mind, because you don't want to think about money or think about fundraising. You want to concentrate on your art and what it is that you do. That would be the biggest challenge, I would think, because you only have so many hours in a day, and the hours that you contribute to your craft and hone your skill within the artistic process, and the hours that you have to contribute to into entrepreneurship, as far as marketing and the services or product that you're putting out there, is limited. So it's sort of like you have to either make a decision on which one you want to do more, or figure out a way to connect with people that will do the things that you not necessarily want to do. So become a collaborative team of sorts. That's kind of where I'm going right now, getting a little bit away from becoming an actor and filmmaker and whatnot, and I'm kind of finding my role as someone who can do the business side for artists around here, to be able to I guess, become a producer. I mean, it's really new for me. I've never thought I wanted to do it or have any clue how to do it, but it's becoming attractive to me, and I'm starting to do certain things in that arena that's really compelling to me. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Chris, do you want to open up? Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, there you go.
I just wanted to chime in real quick and congratulate you on your first big interview. Margie and I were chatting in the background, going back to think about the first time that I spoke, 2008, and fell flat on my face. It was miserable. So you're off to a great start. Congratulations. One thing that all of us serial entrepreneurs will agree upon, though, and it's certainly a problem that I have. Of course, number one, it's great to build all start all these projects. Getting them done is a whole other story. As I was chatting with my publisher behind the scenes at the same time, and one of the problems I have with getting things done is I tend to lose interest towards the end. It becomes work. I don't work. I'm a pretty crappy employee, and also, you know, if you're really a creative person that's actually doing any original thinking, you run into some dark times when it just doesn't seem to be there, and you begin to question whether or not you can really do it. And it seems like the better you get, the bigger the dark times are. And Margie and I have been through a couple of bad few days here in the last few years of my own depression over that creative juice doesn't just seem to be there, and it's not a happy time. So I just wondered if you could give me any feedback on how you deal with when you begin to question, are you all that? Are you enough? We all ask ourselves that, and the answer is never good. So I'd love to hear your side on all that, Steven.
Wow, what a great question. Yeah, absolutely. So when you're in that space, when you're a creative person and you're trying to do that and you're pushing that hard, you do reach sometimes, and we were talking about that earlier about staying up at weird hours, working several days in a row, that stems from being on a roll creatively and not wanting to stop, and that is both a good and a bad thing. You know, the creative process, when you're on a roll, you don't want to stop because that's where all the good stuff is. So you keep pushing and you keep pushing and you get past those points, and you all of a sudden have all of this energy, and you don't want to stop. And it's kind of difficult to teach yourself to be able to take the breaks or to get the amount of sleep that you need to get. That's the tough part, and that might be something that would help as far as what you're talking about, Chris, with finishing stuff and getting stuff done, because it's really easy to get into a burnout cycle where you do great work and you really you're on, basically. You're completely alive. And you push and you push and you push and you push until you can't push anymore. And what happens then is you turn off because you need rest. And that's where you get to the dark parts that you're talking about, where, all right, you know, did I ever have it? Am I any good? Can I ever do what I did before? Where am I? What's going on? I forgot what I was doing. It all leads to that as well, you know, and that feeds into also support systems and people reminding you of things that you've done in the past that are successful, that you are that good, that you have everything that you need to be able to do what you want to do. But yeah, it's a thing that I have a problem with too. I need to take more breaks. I need to get more sleep. And it's something, when you combine both artistic and entrepreneur type qualities, it's something that you have to think about, because it's two different things. You can't just create something and be done with it. As an entrepreneur, you have to continue to work. You know, if you're marketing, you have to continue to market. Whatever you're doing, you have to continue to do it. And in order to do that, you need to have some sort of set schedule, which goes against, you know, now you're thinking right brain and left brain. So it goes against just being creative all the time. You also have to put yourself on some type of routine to be able to level yourself out a bit and to, you know, to keep going and not hit those deep valleys that, you know, sometimes you hit, and we all do.
Where do you get your creativity from, Steve?
From here, it's a good question. From a lot of sources. A lot of the inspiration, I talked about Don Arnold, and I talked about Moving Doc Theater and Chekhov Studio Chicago, and that's a big thing for me. It's really close to my heart, and it's called the Chekhov technique, but it's not really a technique that would be for acting per se. It's really a way to draw inspiration and to be able to open yourself up to be a receptive organism to all the creativity that you already have, to the universe, and to all the ideas that you have coming to you. And my work with them, like I said, I'm not really going into the acting realm much anymore, but I still love to do the work with them because it's the ability to take down all the blocks that you have, because that's really what it is. You have blocks to everything. And when you take down all those blocks, that's where all the creativity comes from. That's where all your imagination comes from. And once you have that, and once you're able to capture all these ideas, that's where you're able to put it out there and have other people recognize it, because we're all kind of going through the same stuff that we have inside of our head. That's really where I get it, you know. And I've noticed when I lose it, it's usually because I'm closed, I'm not opened, and somehow all those blocks got back to where they were before. So it's a continuous process and work, and it's the daily routine, almost a religion, I guess you would say, to be able to stay in that state. But that's what helps me.
I heard a few, I don't know if you know them, Jamie, Minton, and Angela, they take a workation. It's a work, maybe not them, but someone else. They're saying they're taking work vacation, so workation, and they go to like Hawaii or something like that, and they close themselves for a week in a hotel, and they get everything done, and you know, just kind of like separate themselves from everything that all the interruptions. And then they're in a nice place also, so they can vacation there, you know, kind of reward themselves at the end.
I like that idea. I like that a lot.
It's
you're able to, I mean, if you do a lot of work online, or if you do all your work online, you could be, you know, sipping margaritas in the beach in Hawaii and working at the same time. Love it. That's the dream.
Right? Okay. We'll meet you there. Is there anyone else has any more questions? Not? Chris, go ahead.
Actually, we were talking about this in chat, and I thought it would be a great way to end the thing here. And I have this that I carry everywhere with me. It goes to bed with me. It goes to the store with me. It's always with me. And I would probably lose my best ideas if that wasn't with me to jot it down. Yeah. Look, you got a purple one too. So do I.
Yeah,
I got a whole bunch of them in Office Depot for $1. I made all mine purple so Margie didn't steal them.
Oh, look over there too. There's a red notebook.
And so I kind of, you know, maybe I thought just to wind the thing up. One last idea is we were talking Evernote. We were talking digital. I've been banned pen and paper for a decade, and you know what? I wasn't much of a success, but when I went back to using pen and paper and having these piles of to-do lists, because you have to get them done. You can't just leave them in Google Documents or whatever. I thought I'd maybe just ask feedback from you guys and see what all you were doing. A lot of people held up pen and paper, so.
Yes.
In fact, this is just for Tuesday and Thursday Hangouts with Yifat.
Yay. So I think that's a great idea. I mean, especially, you know, if you don't want to forget any ideas that come to mind. I use a recorder on my iPhone. I just record thoughts, and then I can go back and listen to it. And I listen to stuff in the car, so it works.
I get this stuff to leave alone. I'm showing my microphone's up. No, I tried all those, and you know what? I ended up lost in tons of notes. I ended up spending even more time going through all the digital notes, whatever it was, and I just get upset with a situation, and I just delete the whole darn thing, and you're back to zero. What's that?
When we accomplish something, we
actually
are.
Yeah, that's key. That's a good
Yeah,
idea. Tell them
actually, we left our Christmas tree up. We took all the ornaments down, and we start to create ornaments of accomplishments and what we actually accomplished with our goals. And so our Christmas tree is starting to be filled up from January. And it actually makes, gives you a good feeling inside, because instead of something just disappearing into the vapors or whatever, you actually know and see visually that you accomplished something. So anyway.
Yeah, it's one thing with my to-do list is great. I clear all the to-do lists out. I got everything done. I scratch everything up. I crumple it all up. I throw it all away. And then I sit there, and 2 days later, I'll be like, I got nothing done this month.
Yes, it's artificial.
Yeah, it is an artificial tree, James. So that was just one idea for, because, you can get down the road, and it seems like you've spent all the money. You don't really have anything new. Nothing's changed. You've done all this work, done all these things, published all this stuff. And it's simply complacency because you don't have it around to look at. So
I love that idea.
I'll let you guys get out of here. And Steven, it was a pleasure to see you today, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you so much, Steven. And actually, next week we have another guest surprise for our Tech Talks Plus Talks on Tuesday. Pretty good guy, so you should join us. And our entrepreneurial interviews is with Laverne. Am I pronouncing it correctly? No. No?
I just turned my, can I turn my mic, okay, I turned my mic on. It's Laverne.
Laverne.
French, Laverne. Laverne.
Next week we'll make it up. Laverne. So next week we're going to talk to her about schools and teaching, actually, and passion as well. So join us there. And if you can, please +1 the Hangout so we'll know how many people were watching. And thanks so much. I'll see you.
Hey, Yifat, I think somebody else had a question. There was one more question.
Go ahead.
I don't remember who it was from, but
Someone has a
yeah. I think it was it you, Margo?
There he is.
Yeah.
No.
It was less of a question than just a comment. Congratulating Steven for finding a way to make crowdsourcing fit the creative, just creative work. It's been a big concern in the design community and in other creative fields that crowdsourcing can devalue it, and that's just genius. You found a way to make it work, where it actually enhances the value that you bring by bringing together the crowdsourcing and putting it in a better presentation. So kudos.
Well, thank you so much, Dan. I really appreciate that, and now that kind of inspires me to keep on doing that. So thank you.
I think it's the right track.
Hey, Steve. It was a great. I watched the video yesterday. It was great. I now live in Los Angeles, California, but used to live in northern Indiana where we had all that crazy weather.
Yeah.
And I could live vicariously through that video and not have to experience it, which was awesome.
Very cool. Thank you for that. I appreciate it, James.
You're welcome.
Yeah, tell us where to find the movie, Steven. Steven, where can we find the movie?
Oh, I'm sorry. The YouTube channel is I am Steven Vargas, so youtube.com/IamStevenVargas. If you wanted to find the original video where I asked people for their submissions, you could just Google Chicago Blizzard 2011, and you'll see my face in there as one of the Google search results. The actual movie is within the YouTube channel, so you can jump in there and you can find it there.
Okay, Steven, you had mentioned a book before. Can you tell me what it is again?
Sure. I believe it's called The Psychology of Influence, I think, but I do know the author is Robert Cialdini. So Robert, Cialdini. Great read.
Cialdini. Psychology of...
I think it's called Psychology of Persuasion.
Psychology of
Persuasion, not influence, or maybe both. But
I think you should post
Okay,
it,
I'll find
Steven.
okay, I'll post it in my stream.
Okay. Well, thanks, guys. Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye,
Steven.
thanks.